Good morning. Is my sound okay? Check. All right, great. Thanks. Good morning. My name is Stacy Wood. I work for Buncombe County Government as a public information officer. Today is Wednesday, November 13th, and this is your Buncombe County Community Briefing. Today, we'll be joined by the City of Asheville, which will include an update on the water restoration efforts underway. As always, as today, Avril is back, and we will start the update with Avril Pender, County Manager.
Good morning. Buncombe County residents have until Friday to apply for the 2024 Homeowner Grant Program. Applications are now open until this Friday, which is November 15th, and can be obtained at buncombecounty.org/homeownergrant. That is one word, buncombecounty.org/homeownergrant, or by calling 828-250-5500. That is 828-250-5500. Phone support is available in any language. Qualified homeowners can receive financial assistance for housing-related costs, such as property tax bills and other housing costs, including mortgage or homeowners insurance. There are several new aspects to this year's program, including new eligibility requirements, and now mobile homeowners may receive this grant. Once again, to learn more or apply, you can visit buncombecounty.org/homeownergrant or by calling 828-250-5500. Moving to an update on hazard mitigation for Helene. Buncombe County residents can receive funding to make their homes more resilient through home projects that reduce the long-term risk and impacts of natural hazards such as floods, wildfires, and storms. Participation in the program is entirely voluntary. You can apply online or in person. To apply online, complete the 5-minute grant information request. We will add that link in the chat for your assistance, or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone. After submitting the request, you will receive an email from a hazard mitigation team member. Complete and return the application as instructed in the email. To apply in person, you can visit the Asheville Mall through this Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Staff will be on site to answer questions and accept applications. No appointment is necessary. Community care stations and water distribution sites. Our community care stations are open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with showers, laundry, and more. All community care stations now have ADA accessible showers and bathrooms. The location are At Home Store parking lot on Merriman Avenue, Big Lots Innsbrook Mall, Buncombe County Sports Park, Bethel United Methodist Church, Fairview Ingalls, Swannanoa Ingalls, Owen Pool, Morgan Hill Baptist Church. Water and meals ready to eat are available at distribution sites daily as well, and they are located at Skylanes Bowling Alley, Black Mountain Ingalls, Swannanoa Ingalls, Linwood Crump Shiloh Community Center, Pack Square Park, Buncombe County Sports Park, and Fairview Ingalls. Our Buncombe County Public Health mobile team, they're out this week providing free vaccines. They're scheduled this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, today, Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., Big Ivy Community Center. Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m. at the Bounty and Soul Market at the former Bilo in Black Mountain. And on Friday, noon till 6, the Swannanoa Ingalls Community Care Station and the Tunnel Road Community Care Station. An update on solid waste. As you know, we're continuing to work on transitioning to FCC Environmental from Waste Pro, effective January 1st. FCC Environmental will host a hiring event next week on Tuesday, November 19th and Wednesday, November 20th at the Hilton Garden Inn, 309 College Street. There's a flyer on your screen. Please take note. Waste Pro will be running regular routes for trash and recycling today where available. A drop-off site for bag household trash is open today at Hearts with Hands, 850 Warren Wilson Road in Swananoa, and tomorrow at the Ingalls Fairview, and on Friday at the North Buncombe Pool from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. An update on our storm debris. Crews continue to collect between 12,000 and 15,000 cubic yards per day and are out and about in the eastern part of the county in zones B, D, H, and G. And I believe starting today, they'll be in all zones in the county. So that is all zones, picking up about 12,000 to 15,000 cubic yards per day. As you know, it takes thousands of truckloads to gather 100,000 cubic yards, which means major truck traffic in these zones. There are 41 trucks in operations in unincorporated areas of Buncombe County. And with that, we'll turn it over to the City of Asheville, so Deborah Campbell, City Manager, for their update.
Thank you, Everett, and good morning. Again, my name is Deborah Campbell, and I serve as the City Manager of Asheville. I will start today, as I have in each briefing, by thanking everyone in the community for your continued support and ongoing efforts to help our community recover from Helene. We are on day 49 of our emergency response and recovery efforts. I would usually also mention the city's focus areas, but I will save that for later in my remarks when I share information about our newly proposed organizational structure as we transition from response to recovery. This morning, we will have a few and brief updates. First, Water Resources Public Information Officer Clay Chandler will provide an update on the progress being made to address water turbidity in the North Fork Reservoir. I will follow Clay with updates on our water distribution and mill sites, storm debris removal efforts, economic recovery, and the organizational structure we are putting in place to address long-term recovery needs. I'd like to turn it over to Clay Chandler for our water resources update.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. So North Fork turbidity, as of early this morning, turbidity have fallen below 15. It kind of hovered around 15-ish for most of Tuesday. It peaked at 15.8 Tuesday afternoon. That was probably due to the fairly windy conditions out there yesterday. And so the reading that's on the website today is 15.8. As of an hour ago, I think it was like 14.8. So it's still falling. Third round of in-reservoir treatment will begin today. The contractor was a little bit delayed arriving at North Fork. In fact, that process is probably going on as we speak. North Fork's capacity to push treated water into the system has risen to a little more than 20 million gallons a day. Usual caveat supply, that all depends on the turbidity in the reservoir continuing to fall. So we don't need things like serious windstorms, heavy rain, no kind of runoff in the watershed or anything like that. And so far, we've had pretty good luck with the weather. The Corps of Engineers interim pretreatment system, the private contractor who will perform the work, conducted a site visit Monday afternoon, and equipment and materials started arriving yesterday. Nothing has changed with that timeline, still late November, early December. And of course, all of that depends on things that are completely out of our control, like weather. Debris removal continues there, or the planning for the debris removal continues there. That plant obviously remains offline there in Beatree, although I've mentioned several times we can pressurize the entire system with North Fork and Mills River. Every City of Asheville water customer remains under a boil water notice. In the absence of bottled water or water that has been purified, any water intended for consumption should be boiled a minimum of 1 minute beforehand. That is my very brief update for today. I know you will have questions for me after, but for now, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Campbell.
Thank you, Clay. As usual, I'll start my comments with an update on water and meal distribution. Water distribution sites and community care stations remain in operation. I know that County Manager Avril Pender listed them, but I will repeat those locations in the city of Asheville. We are maintaining distribution sites from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Pack Square Park, 70 Court Plaza, Skylines Bowling Alley, 1477 Patton Avenue, Linwood Crump, Shallow Community Center, 121 Shallow Road. And again, just a note that the Shallow location has bottled and cartons of water and MREs, but no bulk water. Additionally, community care stations are located with distribution sites at 980 Brevard Road in the at-home store parking lot, 85 Tunnel Road in the Innsbrook Mall parking lot. These operating hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As mentioned, these locations have ADA accessible showers and restrooms. As of this morning, our sites have distributed more than 2,900,000 bottles and 1 liter cartons of drinking water, 22,389 gallon jugs of potable water, 243,689 gallons of non-potable water, 201,355 meals ready to eat, and 2,375 blankets for warmth. Now I'm going to transition into an update on storm debris collection and management. As of November the 11th, the contractor has collected approximately 56,000 cubic yards of storm debris, which totals over 1,100 truckloads. Work is still focused on public right-of-way cleanup, and we continue to encourage our residents and businesses of Asheville to sort storm debris appropriately and move storm debris to the curb. Today, the contractor will have 27 trucks running. The zones will be as follows. Zone 1 in West Asheville, and that will be 1 truck, 6 trucks in Zone 3, which is downtown Asheville, 8 in Zones 4 and 5, which is North and Northeast Asheville, 5 in Zone 6, which is East Asheville, and 7 in Zones 7 and 8, which is Southeast and South Asheville. Excuse me. Our storm debris collection contractor continues to rotate throughout the city, focusing on collecting in areas with high concentrations of storm debris. However, the contractor will continue to collect storm debris in all areas of the city, including in city-owned parks, until all storm debris is removed. The City of Asheville Public Works team will continue to remove trees that are hanging or leaning over the right-of-way. In the area of economic recovery, I'm pleased to announce the City of Asheville has made just over $700,000 available for small business recovery grants. The grants will be distributed by our partners at Mountain BizWorks as part of the Asheville Buncombe Rebuilding Together Grant Fund. Businesses within the city limits of Asheville that employ fewer than 200 full-time workers will be eligible to apply for grants of up to $25,000. And I want to repeat that these are eligible to apply for grants of up to $25,000. These grants are meant to help businesses recover losses that aren't covered by other forms of assistance. This could include repair and replacement of lost business infrastructure, inventory, equipment, or working capital. The grant application and requirements are available on the Mountain BizWorks website. Please visit www.mountainbizworks.org/abgrants/ to learn more. As I stated earlier, I would discuss our slightly, let me see, I think I got my things out of order. Here we go. Yesterday, at the November 12th council meeting, as part of the manager's report, staff presented information on an organizational structure designed to align federal and state funding resources to initiate both a rapid response and long-term recovery process. This structure includes focus areas around housing, storm debris, economic recovery, water recovery, infrastructure, arts, and cultural resources, and functional support, which includes cost recovery, community capacity building, administrative, and data communication. Haggerty Consulting, Inc. has been contracted to provide support through the recovery process in these focus areas that I mentioned earlier. Staff has scheduled a number of meetings with council on the following dates: on November the 19th, on December the 5th, and on December the 10th. More information about these meetings and the organizational structure can be found at the city's website at www.asheville.nc.gov. And in closing, and as usual, I'd like to extend my continued thanks and gratitude to the mayor and city council, all of our dedicated City of Asheville employees, our other partners in the county, state, and federal government, as well as our private and nonprofit partners who continue to find creative solutions to our community's recovery. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Stacy.
Thank you, Deborah. At this point, we will open the briefing up to questions from media partners who are on the line.
This is John Boyle from Asheville Watchdog. Question for Clay.
It's on his way.
Morning, John.
Good morning, Clay. I've got a reader asked an interesting question. I wanted to condense it and ask you. With y'all being able to push more filtered water through the system, and then the turbidity is dropping as it's going, will that allow you to flush the system when you get to that point? Will it allow you to do it any quicker than the 2.5 to 3 weeks you said previously?
So theoretically, that's possible. But that's all going to depend on the back end bacterial testing that we'll do once that process starts. But theoretically, yes, it could speed it up, but that's no guarantee.
Okay. And do you know roughly like how much it might be able to speed it up?
It would be total speculation. A day, 3 days, it's impossible to tell at this point.
Okay. All right. And then this is more of a public service thing, and I've experienced this too, but the same person was asking about trying to find the numbers, the testing numbers on the website. I found them the other day, but you got to kind of hunt around for them. Can you give people a very clear way to find those if they're interested in looking at the test results themselves?
Yeah, so the link that goes to the sampling results lives at the very top of the water services recovery page. I believe it's linked something like sampling plan or something like that. And it's pinned. It's not going to move from the top of the website. And I believe that address is asheville.nc.gov/Helene/water services recovery.
Great. Thank you.
And
That's all I got today.
I think we've added that to the chat too, so that should be easily accessible.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
That's all I got.
Hi, Clay. It's Laura at BPR.
Morning, Laura.
Morning. Any updates on the progress of the Army Corps build out and timeframe on that?
Yeah, so equipment materials started arriving yesterday afternoon. Contractor did a site visit Monday afternoon to sort of get their plan in place about how to get some of the bigger stuff up to the top of the dam. I don't think any mobile filtration units have started to arrive yet. I think it's basically support materials and support equipment. But obviously that process will continue. And they're very much on time, if not a little early as far as the timeline.
The 35 days, you mean?
Yeah, 35 days is still the timeline.
And then back on that spreadsheet, there was testing coming from a third-party contract lab. And I see some results from that back in like the 28th of October.
Yeah.
Any of those forthcoming?
We are posting those as we get them. The turnaround time on the third-party contract lab has been a little bit slower than it normally is. Don't really have a reason why that is, but that's the reason that's been kind of trickling out.
And then this is just more a logistical question we're getting from people if they're leaving town because there's not an exact timeline and the water comes back on, there's no harm. They can leave things off and they'll be able to address whatever it is when they get back. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's right.
Clay, I did find one more, if you don't mind, and
Sure.
I'm not sure if you're going to be able to answer this one. It's sort of a medical thing, but you've probably been getting these too. We're getting a lot of people having questions about the water and if you're immunocompromised. And I know y'all said, seek out the advice of your doctor, but apparently there was some debate among people that have cancer and had some procedures coming up. Maybe they weren't aware of the advisories, but the person had a surgery coming up and was, how you're told to do the prep washing and scrubbing in advance. And they're asking, is that safe to do in this water? And if an immunocompromised person should or shouldn't bathe in this water if they have a surgery coming up?
Yeah, so I certainly appreciate the question, but that any advice related to that would really need to come from a medical professional.
All right, thanks.
Sure.
Any additional questions?
Hi there, this is Laura Hackett with Blue Ridge Public Radio. I had a question about some of the rent assistance that is operating through Eblin Charities. Do you all have a sense of what the turnaround time is for those people seeking rental assistance? I heard it was like a 30-day turnaround time.
Great. I think City Manager Campbell is best positioned for that.
Thank you. We are not certain. We did have a council member suggest at the meeting last night that it was around 30 days, but I don't know definitively, but we will definitely get a response and get that to the county to put somewhere.
Thank you, Deborah. And just one follow-up question, as the city being, the funding arm for this operation, what levels of accountability and kind of checking in on the rental assistance can we expect moving forward?
Well, I think it would be consistent with how we manage all of our contracts and monitoring. And the reason that we actually even chose these particular organizations is because of their high level of performance and credibility. So yeah, I don't know if I can give you any specific details on the process, but there will be a lot of monitoring that is actually built into some of our contractual arrangements with these groups.
Thank you, Deborah. Just one more follow-up. I know that sounds like there's not too much you can share on it, but could you share how frequent the reporting is typically from organizations who were, giving money to for programs like rental assistance?
I don't have that answer, but we will get it.
Thank you.
And just a note, this program is just beginning, so we don't have a whole lot that we can report on it. But we will keep you posted.
I have an additional question for Clay from social media. We've got a couple folks in the chat sharing some different figures like 17 million gallons and 20 million gallons going through the treatment plant. Can you clarify whether our water treatment plant is operational?
North Fork, yes, it is. And so initially, when the turbidity was like in the 40s and 50s, obviously we couldn't put any amount of that water through our filters without destroying them. Since then, not only has the turbidity fallen, the texture of it has changed significantly. Initially, it was pretty much like sludge and mud and stuff like that that would, easily and quickly clog up a filter. Now it's kind of like a fine silt. Does not clog the filter as quickly. We're able to run the filters for like 25 to 30 hours before we have to stop and clean them with a backwashing procedure. So yeah, all of this obviously is contingent upon the turbidity continuing to fall at North Fork. And I think, our capacity right now is to push 20-ish million gallons per day if needed. Now, demand does not always require that. So we've gotten, we're very, very encouraged that turbidity is continuing to fall. We think this latest round of in-reservoir treatment that started today will continue to help that process. And not only has it fallen, but it doesn't have that sludgy, thick texture that it did in the beginning. It's very, very fine particles.
And even though that treatment plan is working, we are still under a boil water advisory, correct?
Correct, yes.
Thank you, Clay. Are there any additional questions? All right, hearing none from the chat or from anyone on the Zoom call, we'll go ahead and wrap up today's community briefing. Just a reminder that if you have Helene related questions, you can call the One Buncombe Call Center. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that number is 828-250-6100. And with that, we'll wrap up today's community briefing. We will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. with additional updates from the City of Asheville as well as other partners. Thank you.